Hey guys, today's video is going to be uh, an unusual one because I am going to be talking about a topic that is trendy nowadays because of the controversial nature of it. It involves a YouTuber called Mama Max. It's a weird name, I know. It's a weird name, Mama Max. Weird. So, he is a supposed pedophile hunter. I wanted to do a psychological analysis of his character because of the after looking at all the allegations on him by YouTubers such as Some Ordinary Gamers, Muda, and others. I wanted to do a psychological analysis on him because it would be educational for us to understand what went wrong with his personality. It would help us understand a big lesson regarding the reality of ego, the reality of ego. So first of all, let me tell you what happened, the whole situation. A lot of you might not know what happened. So there's this YouTuber called Mama Max, as I said. He is a supposed pedophile hunter. He exposes pedophilic cults and all these things. He sort of, well, it's a supposed exposition or whatever of those cults and stuff. He, what he did recently is that he tried to expose a cult which turned out to be never really brought out any substantial evidences for anything he said. It was all boiled down to only one witness called Spencer. She's a woman named Spencer. She says all that stuff like happened and it's a cult, a pedophilic Dracula type cult, vampire cult, and they do, I don't know, ridiculous things and weird things. And he basically, whenever someone asks him for evidence, he shows them this 5 hour podcast where like he's asking her questions and she's expressing what happened and all that stuff. So it's a weird thing. People started getting suspicious of him and started asking for substantial evidences. And he was like, yeah, and he wouldn't really wouldn't really have an answer to these questions. So the straw that broke the camel's back was that he was then asking other YouTubers, other big YouTubers, to start covering his story, to give him more support and all that stuff, which kind of was weird because he was literally calling them out, shaming them for not joining his research or whatever, or not giving him a pat on the back and saying, yeah, you're doing a good job, you should continue, which is weird because all of them had one complaint, and it was that he was emotionally guilt tripping them, and the other thing was that he didn't have any evidence. He did not have any evidence, which was weird. Now, YouTubers like Muda, Some Ordinary Gamers, they straight up are calling him fraud. They're saying he's a fraud. He's nothing but a fraud, and all he does is like drama and makes up these characters and all that stuff. I personally think he is not a fraud in a sense that he has malice. He does. I don't think. You can call me whatever, an empathetic guy or a retard or a fool, but I don't think he has malice. I think he is committing fraud, but his intentions are, you can say, semi ill, because he believes, or at least he tries to make himself believe, tries to sort of gaslight himself into believing that he has like a good reason, because when on the Twitter his video got leaked where he was basically he was crapping on Charlie, Moist Critical. He was saying really weird stuff. So in the end, he says something like, because it's for the good. I think he says something like that. He was basically crapping on him and saying that he thought Charlie made a video calling him a creep, and he was basically admitting that, yeah, that would have been about me because what I was doing was creepy. Now, that is a person who understands he is at wrong, and at the end of the sentence he says, but we are doing it for a good cause. He says something like that. It shows how he is gaslighting himself, how he is convincing himself that he has a reason to do all these bad things for a good cause, which brings us to our next point. Now we would do an analysis on his character. To me, personally, when some ordinary gamers, Muda, showed us the messages that he sent to Muda, urging him to sort of join him, or rather join his investigation or help him out and all that stuff, and all that baloney, bull crap, as Charlie says. So, what I found in that convo was at least like a man who was trying to get help but really had no malice in him, really did not have ill intentions. He genuinely believed it was a good cause. But the bad part about it is that now that's where you should take the lesson. When you're doing something good, or at least when you're attempting to do something good, your ego starts getting high above. You start this holier than thou, or rather, above your rather. There's this what do they say? This high horse. You'll get on that high horse. You'll think of others as lowly beings who are doing it for their selfish reasons, while you, like he mentions that he doesn't take any sponsors, he takes only patreons, and how good he is, and how he is doing it for the good. And also he had that trend YouTube pick a side. So all that stuff, it increases your ego. One of the things that it does is that it kind of makes you feel like you are entitled to do all that because you're sacrificing sort of your own well-being for the good. So that's what he thinks. He thinks he is entitled to ask anyone whether if he provides any evidence or not, because he is the pedophile hunter, as he says. I am the pedophile hunter. I can do whatever I want or whatever. To that extent, he said something like that. So you start getting entitled or feeling like you are entitled to do these things. Now this is not something you do deliberately. That's why I don't think it's a complete fraud in a malice with a malice intent. I think it's an unaware one where the guy has too much ego, and he recognizes the evil he does, but he tries to sort of get to that place where he could kind of to fix it, but he sort of fails. Now another point which I wanted to make is that why would he change his channel name and take down most of his videos and act in a bizarre way? That was weird. Why would he do that? Why would he sort of do a case, or rather persist on a case which he is sort of getting backlash from, even from the beginning? Like, it was mostly a lost cause. Any sane person would see that he has no evidence, unless it's a child who is playing the detective game, that he has no evidence, but he is still connecting the dots. I think it comes back to that lady Spencer. I think she's the one calling the shots. Now I'm not saying she's the mastermind and all that stuff. No, she's not Professor Xavier and with his mind whatever. No, she's not controlling anyone. She doesn't have that magical spell. It's rather that I think now it's just a theory, a game theory. I think that what's happening is that Spencer. Now I have also heard that this guy Mama Max is in a relationship with Spencer. I, I don't know if it's true. If it's true, then it further proves my point. How, like, this is a phenomenon. Now let me explain this very important phenomena of pretending, of how people start pretending stuff when they're within vicinity of another partner of theirs, another person whom they love, or which they don't want to sort of disappoint, or whom they sort of, it's because of them that they start pretending stuff, or pretending to be those who they are not. Like, I personally think that Mama Max is, this Max guy is doing all these things due to Spencer's influence on him, and he does not want to disappoint Spencer, and he simply does not want to sort of lose whatever he has and whatever she offered, which is why he kind of is doing that. Now this again is it's just a theory. It's it's again. So yeah, this is what I think about it. So yeah, now the last advice that I would give regarding it would be that ego is a bad thing. You should always keep it in check. You should always try to understand. Uh, you should reflect, as my previous video says. Now, this character analysis, what does it show us? It shows us how it creeps to us in weird ways when we are not even looking, when we are not even understanding the situation. It creeps to us and it attacks us when we are the most vulnerable. So, yeah, that's it.